And we are back with a Brian's Back edition of the Doing All Right podcast on this lovely Friday, sir. Appreciate you having you back in the seat there, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
And we got a little bit of work for y'all today. We're going to put an ugly bow on quarterback week. You know what I'm saying? It was a long process, strenuous.
Yeah.
But we watched them, Brian. We got through them.
Got them done.
After this, I'm going to put our list together, and we ain't going to talk about no more quarterbacks. You know what I mean? We probably could have done without. We could have stopped at 10 and been fine, or 9 and been fine. But
sure,
we'll go down the list.
You got to give them their due. They're part of the board. They're part of the process.
I have a feeling, Brian, that when we get back into our real football players that ain't quarterbacks, I think most of those guys are going to be better than like my bottom 3 of these dudes.
Yeah,
I ain't saying we wasted time. Because we got to watch quarterbacks.
Got to watch quarterbacks.
But I can't wait to get back to the non-quarterback guys. Brian, let me ask you this, though. I saw a mock draft. I believe it was Matt Miller, and it may not be Matt Miller. So if it's wrong, pardon me. This ain't some professional, situation. It's just Voch podcast. Don't worry about me. But I believe it was Matt Miller.
Yeah.
And Matt Miller, he did the mock, and the Cowboys took defensive players at 12, 20, 92, and 114. Everything after the 4th round was offensive players.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So I have a couple of questions from there. This is my first one. One of them was a quarterback, by the way. His last pick was a quarterback. I don't even know. I'm about to look it up while you're talking. Brian, we've been watching quarterbacks. Matt Miller said the Cowboys' last pick should be a quarterback. Dak's an old man. Defense is an emergency, though.
Right.
When we get into day 3, would you rather throw a dart at a defensive player, maybe a guy that'll be better in the future, maybe a bit of a traitsy player, a chess piece, a dude that can play teams for you right now? Or do you want to go for quarterback, somebody you can sit down and like develop because Dak's a little older?
I come from a system in Green Bay where we drafted quarterbacks every year. And so there was a side of me that always believed that having that kind of if you have somebody that has a very strong conviction in the room, if it's an offensive coach, quarterbacks coach, maybe somebody evaluated. I go back to the Tom Brady draft and a coach named Dick Rabine in New England. Scott Pioli said, "Hey, coach, we're going to draft a quarterback here in the 6th round." And coach said, "If you're going to take a guy, please take this Tom Brady kid from Michigan. I'd like to work with him if I could." And you're like, "Okay, well, good. We'll take that." So you take Tom Brady, and that's a coach having a strong thought about that. You look at somebody like what Wade Wilson, the thought he had on Dak Prescott. Dak went into a compensatory 4, but you have a strong feeling about that. If there's a coach that does have that, and it's something that aligns with what the scouts are thinking, I'm always about that. But that was something that we did in Green Bay all the time. It was like we get to later in the draft, it was like, okay, here's where we're going to take 4th, 5th round. This is where we're going to take this quarterback. And you're right about the traits and things like that. Maybe there's something that it looks like that it's kind of a fit for offense. Maybe he's a strong arm guy. Maybe he's a guy that's got the size, the measurables. Maybe the athletic ability is something. But I'm absolutely on board with drafting quarterbacks at certain points. But what I need is a really strong feeling, from my coach on this, if that's what we're going to absolutely do. Because to me, I also think there's opportunities to take, and you mentioned him, Voch, the traitsy kind of guy. Maybe it's the guy that might be a little bit undersized, but you watch him separate in routes. Or maybe it's the guy who is too tall, but he turns well. He's got the length, but people haven't seen him at that high on the board. So I'm always interested in looking at those guys when we get to that point, because the later you get in the draft, the more likely you are to take a traits-based pick. But that quarterback, it's almost like a lottery ticket, because if you hit on it, you might get Tom Brady, or you might hit a Dak Prescott. You might get something like that if you're willing to do it.
Brian, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Wade Wilson and what's my man's that
Dick
said?
Rabine, yeah.
I need to get like recidual checks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've.
There should be.
Really sad. We've lost both the coaches. They're no longer with us.
They family should get paid.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
They family should get if we are constantly trying to figure out the next because when you get a franchise quarterback, we all keep our jobs for a little bit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If I'm the only one out the group saying, "Hey man, pick this Tom Brady dude," and Tom Brady works out, I should get a check every month.
Yeah,
for real.
That's the thing that sometimes these coaches are really good evaluators. There are some that are very good, and then and your job as a general manager, and this is what's different from the Dallas Cowboys. Their general manager does not go out and evaluate players on a weekly basis. He's not going to North Carolina. He's not going to Florida State. He's not going to Stanford or wherever to look at players. He's a different type of a general manager, and then the guy the son who is really running the operation. Well, he's not a traditional general manager either. He's not going out and looking. So what happens is you lose that. You lose that ability for that general manager to go out and, when they all sit together and evaluate tape, it's a little bit more difficult. It's a little bit more because Jerry and Steven are not out there on the road. And so they're not evaluating the guys who should be fourth, fifth. They're sitting down and watching tapes and they're putting their board together and stuff. But these general managers that do go out on the road, they do have a little bit of an understanding. Listen, I don't know Howie Roseman's situation in Philadelphia. I don't know if Howie goes out and looks at players. Howie's a kind of an aggressive wheeler dealer kind of guy, really trusts his scouts. But, if you got a traditional general manager that's going out and evaluating and a coach comes in with a pick or a player, but you also know what coaches can evaluate and which ones can't. Mm-hmm. That's the whole idea. And that's the problem the Cowboys have been able to, that have not been able to, have gone through these last 4 years, is that they have a new coaching staff every single year. So now you don't know who can evaluate and who can't evaluate. It's an ongoing process, and they seem to have had a lot more misses than hits. But it really falls on the general manager to be able to say, "Hey, listen, that coach is right about this player. We need to make this pick right now." But you don't have that advantage here in Dallas.
Matt Miller gave the Cowboys Cade Klubnik with the 180th pick. Later on, we're going to do a short exercise where we talk about if we were to draft a quarterback for the Cowboys, what round value per player talent would make sense value-wise or whatever. We're going to do that a little bit later, but I did want to bring that to your attention. One more thing I wanted to ask you about. There's been conversation, especially since Shotty brought it up, about the offensive tackle thing. And I know people don't want to draft O-line in the first round anymore because, you kind of full on the O-line front.
You made some good points about that on 105.3 The Fan this morning, by the way, about taking the sixth. I mean, when you taking the sixth?
When do you stop?
When do you stop? Yeah.
When do you stop? That's fair. Shouts out to Matt Owen. Matt Owen get on me every time I talk about drafting offensive line. But I think people have the big gripe about it being a first-round guy. Yeah. Bryan, would you be open to taking an offensive lineman, let's say offensive tackle, because that's what the business is. And you got Guyton right now. He's a starter, but there's question marks. And the same with Terrence.
Another good point about Steele, too, that you tend to like Steele more, but, and Steele is what he is. But you're absolutely right. The NFL is playing with Terrence Steele right now.
Yeah. Do you think the Cowboys should look at offensive tackle in day 3 anywhere?
Well, the problem that they've had was, is it Matt Waletzko? Is it Ball? Is it Awesome Richards? I mean, listen, I thought that Awesome Richards was going to work out.
Yeah.
Of all the ones that they had, I thought, listen, this is the guy that looked like to me that he kind of had the most promise.
Yeah.
They've struggled with that now. Listen, let's be honest. They were fortunate to get T.J. Bass. T.J. Bass was undrafted. Mm-hmm. They threw money at T.J. Bass. T.J. Bass should have been drafted. Maybe that would make me feel a little bit better. T.J. Bass has developed as an offensive lineman, but there's been we'll see with Thomas and guys. I mean, they've tried.
Yeah.
They've tried some of these guys, but it hasn't kind of materialized. There's some teams.
Seems like they hit on the undrafted guys more than the 4th round guys.
It's and this is, again, does it go back to the coaching situation? Is there an offensive line coach? And this is a group that's now, I mean, you've got some stability going into the second year, but this is where all of a sudden you get coach that says, hey, we're going to pick Guy. Yeah. We're going to pick Matt Waletzko here with his or Ball with his subluxation shoulders. Yeah. I mean, this is where you get into trouble, is that coaches are kind of looking for maybe a traitsy guy or an athletic guy, or, boy, this guy's got a lot of toughness and all that. They just have not been very, very good at it. And so I would be I'd be very mindful. Like, who is the guy up there on that board that we feel the absolute best about? If the scouts like a particular guy and the coaches like a particular guy, I think there needs to be like, okay, even before you get to this point, who's the hire of the guy? And don't let the coach come in there and jump somebody and say, I would rather have, if we're going to do something, I would rather. And I've been in those war rooms before too.
Yeah, and I think this is a terrible year to attempt to get an offensive lineman.
I would not even try.
Nah, man. And because of how tackle tax works, Bryan.
Yeah.
I got a 2 on Ihana.
Yeah.
Some people may have a 3 on him. That dude could go in the first round because of tackle tax.
I'm telling you what, man.
Monroe Freeland going top 10 is tackle tax.
That is the one that it hurts me at my core is because I don't know if I've really missed on the guy is Freeland.
Monroe Freeland, yeah.
I don't see what everybody else sees in this player. I see an athlete. I don't see a top 6 player here.
Right.
In any other offensive lineman draft, he's maybe Tyler Guyton, maybe behind Tyler Guyton. You know, I mean, I'm just saying.
Another offensive line class, he's closer to like Jordan Morgan than he is Harris Campbell.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he's one of the last last in line of the tackles. Yeah. So I if you're picking an offensive lineman in this particular draft, I think it has to be seriously buyer beware.
Bryan, let's put a bow on quarterback week.
Yeah.
I got 3 extras and a 4.
Okay.
I was really impressed with one of these guys. When I say really, I mean like 4th round impressed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to put him higher.
Okay.
There's, I can't be phony with my board. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there's a circumstance that's keeping me from putting him higher. Bryan, if you had to assume who was my 1 4th round grade and everybody was extras, who would you say?
I would say it'd probably be Haynes King.
Nah, man, I like Haynes King, though. I like Haynes King.
Okay.
Went through his film.
So you're probably then. Now got you. Robinson, I don't think you would like Robinson.
No, I'm not Sawyer Robertson guy.
Oh, there's no way you're going to tell me that you like Payton.
That dude, Bryan, Cole Payton. This is the problem. He plays at North Dakota State.
You can watch him at the Senior Bowl.
You can watch him at the Senior Bowl. He plays at North Dakota State. So he's beating the hell out of the kids that they play. Bryan, that dude is Dak Prescott, man. Not Dak, because look, Dak Prescott now is different than he was 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. But the coming out of Mississippi State dude,
yeah.
The only problem is Dak did it versus LSU, Arkansas when they was cool. Some other guy. They lost to Bama when Bama was, super. Mm-hmm. And Cole Payton hasn't played anybody close to that level of talent, so that's the problem. But Bryan, I wanted to go in there hating on Cole Payton because he played for North Dakota State.
You can't do that.
Left-handed quarterback, Bryan.
Smooth.
Well, let's go through the Parcells facts first. Cole Payton, North Dakota State, got him down for 3 years. Some other little miscellaneous years, but 3 years for the most part. 13 starts. Bill Parcells hate that.
Yeah.
Boy, Bill Parcells hate that. Bryan, they used to have him in his early years. They used to just have him come in on rundowns. Mm-hmm. So he was real like a running back to me. I like, man, you might as well have him as a running back. He would do like read option stuff, quarterback runs, and that'll be him getting in the game. But out of his 13 starts this year, 12 wins. So cool. All right. 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not bad. 6'3", 232 pounds. The old scouting you like the size on him.
Size looks impressive.
Thick character, pause if necessary. Mm-hmm. Left-handed quarterback and all that, Bryan. So, like I said, prior to him being trusted as a passer, mm-hmm. he would run a lot. And he was a tough physical. He was a Hunter Lipke type runner. I ain't trying to make a comparison because of the little school dude that's running over folk. But he was a power running quarterback draw, quarterback sweep type guy, read option. But when they let him throw the football in 2025, and that's really what we're evaluating,
right.
Bryan.
Right.
He could sling it around a little bit.
Sure.
He got some touch, Bryan.
He does have touch.
You know, he can hit guys in different parts of the field. I wouldn't say he has much of a deep ball, but you can make a living from being short to intermediate guy. You know what I'm saying? Arm talent, he's not going to be as good as some of these other guys arm talent wise, but he does have zip. So when you think about,
he's very smooth throwing the ball.
Smooth throwing the ball. When you think about arm talent, Bryan, is two ways to look at it, right?
Sure.
Do you have the muscle or the power to get it downfield at different parts of the field? Touch is also a part of that, but it's also like the zip on the football, right? I think short to intermediate, he does have some cool zip on the football. He throws a very catchable football.
Right.
Down the field could use some development, but he did hit some throws downfield. The offense gives him a lot of easy stuff and layups or whatever. Like I said, with all these guys, I'm not grading the hitches and slants and curls and bubbles. I'm looking for your big boy throws and what you did. And Bryan, when he was throwing some of those back shoulder passes, when he was throwing outside the numbers, when he made some attempts in the red zone at the back of the end zone, he placed the ball really well. So I was impressed by him. The competition that he's playing against, Bryan, it ain't good at all. And maybe and when he's running dudes over and stiff arming and they bouncing off of him, I'm like, man, that's an accountant that you out there stiff arming.
Sure.
To be fair, but he did do it, and it's on film. So there you go there. Let me see. But he feels like a ball player, Bryan.
Sure.
He just feels like a tough football player. They're going to have to teach him how to slide. So he want to run people over.
Yeah.
He's been doing that for 3 years. I figure that's cool. But Bryan, when I was watching this guy, man, it reminded me of not the Dak Prescott that you have now. That's a heady guy that,
Mississippi State.
I'm talking about Mississippi State, when Dak was a muscle and Dak ran around and we was doing that option stuff, but he still had the ability to make throws downfield.
Sure.
That's the Dak Prescott
That's
that I'm thinking about with Cole Payton.
That's very fair.
I got a 4 on him, Bryan. I would feel so much better about Bryan if he played at North Texas. I'd feel better.
Sure.
If he played at Virginia, it ain't got to be Alabama, Bryan.
Sure.
My problem is Ty Simpson played at Alabama. Carson Beck played in the biggest games. Nussmeier played in the SEC. Aller played in the Big Ten. I can't put him over those guys in good confidence. Everybody else, I feel like they was just kind of bad enough that I could just do what I want to do no matter who they were playing against. But I got Cole Payton in the 4th round. He's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's my 6th guy.
There you go. I have him lower. That's okay. And, the thing about it is this is the school that's produced Trey Lance and Carson Wentz.
That Carson Wentz joint was looking good for like 3 years.
Yeah, until he got hurt.
Until he got out of there.
And
Trey Lance had never lived up.
So this is an organization, a school that plays a very high level of football. You could watch them play against Colorado a couple of years ago and give Colorado everything that they can handle opening day.
Arizona
in Boulder, Colorado. Yeah, you could watch. They try and play a schedule that is helpful to them, and they find a way to win. They're consistently in championship games. They're constantly winning playoff games. You can evaluate their players. Their players are extremely tough. Maybe some of these guys should have ended up playing at Michigan State or Purdue or other places like that. They didn't get recruited that way. But this kid right here, I do like the way that he throws the ball, and maybe it's because he's left-handed.
Yeah.
That you watch him set up. I think there's touch on all 3 levels with this kid.
Okay.
I really, really do. I don't see the arm velocity with this guy. I think there's if it's not a timing type of a pass, I think it's a little bit of a problem for him. I love the frame. You're right about the way that he looks, the way that he runs. He's a physical player. I really like what you did with the Dak Prescott, and I the comparison of when you watch Dak Prescott play at Mississippi State, it was a lot of running over people.
Moving the chains.
It was running over LSU dudes. It was running over Alabama dudes. It was he wasn't accurate throwing the football. Hell, you could talk to Dan Mullen, his coach at the time. Dan Mullen said some of the worst practices you would ever see throwing the football. Yeah. But he developed. He developed into a really good passer. I do have this guy and the others for me. But I think the thing that you could sell me on if I was sitting in a room and you said, guys, let's go back and talk about Dak Prescott when he was at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And you could make some similar comparisons to this player. So I can't fight you on that. As a scout, I would say, you know what? This there's things that you see with this guy that remind you absolutely of what Dak Prescott was as a player in college. And so I could see why you would put him where you did.
Now, see, when I was young, I had Dak in the twos. When I was first doing this,
Sure.
I had a second round grade because I felt like him doing what he did in the SEC with no help around him. I thought it was phenomenal.
There was people that would go in. There were scouts that were going into Mississippi State, and there was a time where Mississippi State was on a run where they were #1 team in the country.
Sure did.
And everybody was going, where are all the players?
Josh Robinson, the running back, is like the only one.
Well,
he was like undrafted.
Tackle that's at Tennessee. But the thing is that when you look now at like with Dak Prescott though, it's one of those situations where you're kind of like coming out. You're absolutely right. I mean, there was a lot taking snaps under center. You watch this kid at the Senior Bowl. You could watch him in the Senior Bowl drills. I mean, he's throwing the ball around pretty good, but he's actually taking snaps from underneath center, which Dak Prescott, when he got to the Senior Bowl, he was having to do the same thing. So it's very, very similar to what you're talking about right now. I could see that. I could see what you're talking about, and I would. But I'm going to keep him. I'm going to keep him in my the extras right now. I'm not really set on the arm talent there. The mobility, the size, I think are really, really good though too.
Totally fair too. And also too, after you watch like some of the other guys we've watched, and like you may watch like Sawyer Robertson or something, and see how he kind of throws the ball around, and then you watch Cole Payton. I did think he had more zip on the shorter to medium passes or whatever.
Yeah.
Downfield, I feel like the zip fluttered.
Yeah.
But he still found those guys.
Sure.
Still found those guys. What do you think about the competition level? Like he's playing he's playing at a school that's prestigious for their level. For their
you're watching
level.
South Dakota.
Yeah, Northern Illinois.
You're watching Northern Illinois, which is a MAC school. You're watching the Northern Iowa. I mean, listen.
Oh, it's some nonsense, Bryan.
It's you're right, and you use one of my phrases because I always said about Josh Allen. He's playing against cattle ranchers and pharmacists.
Does he walk on water? Is Cole Payton walking on water when you watch him?
Man, I would say no.
I'm walking on water, me, bro.
No.
He walking on
I just can't.
It ain't the ocean.
But the thing, I didn't expect this morning you to come in here and compare his trajectory to Dak Prescott.
Sure.
I didn't expect that. But I understand.
Yeah.
I was going to sit there and fight you on this one. I really can't fight you when you explain it that way because you're not wrong.
Yeah.
If I was like, I'm going to remind you of Carson Wentz, I'm going to remind you of Trey Lance, I'm going to remind you, the kid did play in the Senior Bowl. He did show up. He threw to receivers that are NFL-ready receivers. He had NFL blockers in front of him.
He's not reckless with the football.
Not at all. Yeah. Not at all. The one-year starter thing always bothers me with some. One-year starter at a small school that plays really good football.
Sure.
Those are the things you wonder if it's too big initially for him though.
Sure. Parcells will hate him. Parcells wouldn't fool with it at all.
Parcells had Phil Simms, and Phil Simms went to school at Morehead State in Kentucky. I mean, he wasn't a Florida State.
That's a school?
Yeah. Phil Simms went to a tiny school. Yeah. But yeah.
Bryan, you say you had you had 2 5s?
I do.
Give me your favorite 5 out of this list right now.
My favorite 5 is Haynes King.
Tell me about Haynes King from Georgia Tech. I like him too. He's my second best guy on this list.
Yeah, I think with Haynes King, and this is where I respect this kid.
For sure.
He's 6'2", he's 216 pounds. Georgia Tech was kind of wandering in the desert until Haynes King showed up. And Georgia Tech has a history of having some great football players. But this young man transferred from Texas A&M. He's going to be an older guy. He's going to be a 25-year-old guy, maybe very reminiscent of what we had. A guy who had a lot of experience. If you look at our guy from at the 49ers the same way. But there's Purdy. There's things about this kid. You're not going to find a more tougher player in the country than this kid.
For sure. There's
a ton of design runs here. A ton. You could watch design run after, he had a game where he had 19 carries on design runs. and he'll give up his body in order to gain yards. He's a great finisher with his body on the line. He's a long leg, dual threat kind of a player. He's very accurate throwing the football. He's had that kind of. I love the grit. I love the guts. His mechanics aren't always great because he's in a situation where he's kind of trying to move around. He's so accustomed to moving and throwing on the move. But man, his toughness, his mental toughness, his talent as a runner. You watch him throw the ball, his ability to be accurate throwing the ball. I just kind of like him because his ability to extend plays. But then you'll see guys like by extended plays, you'll see guys open down the field, and he's able to kind of keep his eyes down the field and make those throws. I just feel like though that he is one of these guys that somebody is going to take this guy. They're going to work on his mechanics. But his ability to move and kind of manipulate the pocket, go forward if he has to, make the throws underneath, make the throws intermediate. There's some balls you see going down the field. I think this guy has arm talent, but I'm just kind of banking on his toughness and his grit. And he is, like I said, an older guy that might turn some people off. But man, you watch Georgia Tech play football. He's the reason why Georgia Tech could go to Georgia between the hedges and be competitive in the game because this guy's lining up and giving him a chance. So I think there's something to that about him, and that's why I would be willing to take him like in the 5th round because of all the traits I just talked about.
Man, I don't think you said nothing wrong about him. He plays better competition than Cole Payton does.
Yeah.
I wonder what Cole Payton would look like in Georgia Tech's offense. That's one thing that I constantly thought about.
That's fair.
Something interesting about Georgia Tech, they are known historically for like the little wing tee option, little stuff. They do that passing the ball now, which is interesting. Like they'll have like a lot of passing option type stuff. Like it's either a run, hitch, or bubble type swing thing. I thought that was very fascinating from their offense. So I did enjoy watching him. He was better when I was watching him in passing. And that's kind of why you got to watch the film and really hunker down on these guys, right? I remember watching the Georgia game, and I remember like this dude from Georgia Tech ain't got nobody helping him versus these gangsters versus Georgia, and look at him keeping them in the fight.
Yeah, he
will single-handedly keep his team in the fight.
Yeah,
but if we breaking down traits, if we just breaking down who you are as a quarterback, not the short stuff, not the option stuff, what are your big boy throws like? It gets a little tough for him there.
Yeah, it does.
It gets a little tough for him there. His mechanics is so wild. Like him and Sawyer, they got some goofy little arm mechanics going on. But, at this point in the draft,
we talk about arm mechanics too with Green.
Sure, absolutely. Taylor Green got a weird one too.
Yeah.
But at this point in the draft, we're talking about traits anyway.
Right.
Taking a quarterback, developing. Yeah. And I think when you have a dude that has what he has, like that level of toughness and the ability to take bad dudes around him, kind of uplift them and get into a fight with a team much better than you, I think a team will like that and try to like work on it. Please.
I think he's got Josh Allen toughness.
Toughness, sure. Yeah.
I think and
he's run right into 3 techs and linebackers.
Yeah, you will see times where he will pull the ball and like it's down on the goal line and he is running through a linebacker to get a touchdown. He is a tremendous player when it comes to just how tough he plays. And we remember, and I'm not comparing him. I guess I am comparing him. Josh Allen coming out of Wyoming was not very accurate throwing the football. But we always say, we were just talking about who you're throwing to. But, Ken Dorsey, who was at Buffalo at the time, who's now with the Cowboys, worked with Josh Allen and his accuracy improved. Maybe this will be the case for this guy. I just feel like that somebody is going to take this guy and he comes from a football family in Longview. His dad was a coach and all that. He understands what it takes to prepare and be ready. The age will probably be to some people an issue. To me, I think the older you are a quarterback, maybe the better shot you have with the maturity and stuff.
Yeah, pardon me too. I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah.
Haynes King, 5 years at Georgia Tech and Texas A&M. I ain't nobody.
A&M. Yeah, A&M.
42 starts, 21 wins, 65 touchdowns, 34 picks. It's a lot of picks, but it's still that 1-to-2 ratio.
Yeah.
Parcells wanted the 1-to-2 ratio for touchdowns and picks. I think I prefer like 1-to-4. You know what I'm saying? Like if you throw 100 touchdowns, I want 25 picks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I kind of rather that a little.
You just don't want him turning over the ball at all. But
you don't want him turning over the ball.
There was
20 touchdowns, 4 interceptions makes
you
makes
could
sense
go
to me.
through. You could go through Haynes King, and there was a time where Georgia Tech was like 7-0, and then late in the year they had some crazy games where they're Pittsburgh and they were getting beat, and so you're kind of like sitting there like, man, it'd been nice for him to finish. They had to win a game to get in the ACC championship game. They couldn't get that done. That would have been nice for him to be able to do that. But I just fall in love with the guy's toughness. And I just, maybe that's why you talking about the traits in that 5th round. That's why I would have him over some of these guys that we've talked about with Klubnik, Daniels, Payton, those guys. I think I would have him above those guys.
Just one more note.
I do have him above those guys.
Just one more note real fast. I just had a note of him in the Duke game, which is a pretty cool
game.
It's
a game, yeah.
I think he made some really nice throws in that game. That was some of his better throws that he made. It was still kind of up and down consistency-wise, and the mechanics were all over the place.
The mechanics can be a little wild.
They're everywhere, but the Duke game wasn't a bad game for him. I just wanted to put that note in there and let that be known. I got him in my extras, Brian.
Okay. Fair.
He's tough, man, but I can't just keep your toughness.
Do the mechanics keep you from drafting him like in the 5th round?
I personally don't care
about
extras
mechanics. Is like a 6th round for us, right?
6th round, 7th round.
I like what you've done there. Okay.
Yeah, I personally don't care about the mechanics in that way because I've seen quarterbacks with horrible mechanics play well.
My guy Green's that way.
Yeah. I just wanted Haynes King to make more big boy throws or make bigger plays. Even though I've seen Taylor Green make some big boy throws, he's made big plays running the football.
Right.
Haynes King, when he's running the football, it's like I'm trying to tough a first down out or something like that. He's not like super dangerous in that way where you got to dedicate 2 people to spy on him. You know what I mean? Like you do with Green. But I like Haynes King. He'll probably be 6th round, 7th round, something like that.
Yep, sure.
I got him in the extras. I would assume that our 3rd best guy unanimously is Sawyer Robertson.
That's who I got.
I would say from Baylor. Let's see, Sawyer Robertson, Baylor, also Mississippi State over.
That's true.
There.
5th-year senior guy. Yeah.
So 26 starts, but he played 27 games with more than 15 throws.
Yeah.
I guess one game he came in as a reserve and made more than 15 throws. That's how I've been grading it. 13 wins over that time, which is horrible. 61 touchdowns to 25 picks. 6'4", 216 pounds.
Yeah.
I watched SMU, Arizona, TCU games like that.
Sure.
I thought he was able to hit so. First of all, when we get into these kind of guys, and these guys been messing up the league for a long time, these schemes that are built to give you easy throws, wide open throws, let your wide receiver be yak guy, and you end up with a bunch of points. Baylor defense ain't give no help at all, but. When I'm grading quarterbacks, I'm just giving my grade scale here. I'm on your big boy throws.
Yeah.
What are your big throws like? I don't want to, what that corner to the end, to the sideline right before the numbers. Do you throw it out of bounds? Do you hit it right before? Can he get 2 feet down, 1 feet over the middle? Are you afraid? What's your fade look like? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. I'm constantly worried about your big boy throw. So SMU, which doing research on them because we got a coordinator from there.
Coordinator, yeah.
SMU defense ain't bad.
Not at all.
And they're a playoff team too, so I was cool. I was like, all right, competition. He was able to hit some wide open targets, but he didn't throw guys open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
And that's kind of one thing. Them dudes got a lot of space in that offense. You know what I mean?
Baylor's always had a lot of space in their offense.
They find a way to create it. But in those times where there was like coverage there, I wanted to see them lead guys. I don't know why I'm doing my thought. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm podcasting. I wanted him to kind of lead guys a little bit, and they had some decent yak guys, Brian. Yeah. So if he led them a little bit, they'll probably get more yards. There were times where it'll be like a crossing route and the ball will be right on them. Place it a little bit better, you know what I mean? Or if it was anything outside the numbers, that ball was hitting Aaron Andrews upside the head, dog. Like anything that was to the sideline, he would kind of miss those a little high, or he'll overthrow somebody down the field a little bit. But if the player is open or breaking, and he's on time and the rhythm is good, his placement is generally good.
Yeah.
But if he's off schedule, that's when he gets hit like a ton of bricks. He hits his layups, but the big boy throws just really didn't hit it for me. I watched the Arizona game because we watched a bunch of Arizona DBs.
Right.
So let's see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Beat the shit out of him. You know what I'm saying? He had a rough day versus Arizona, man.
Yeah.
You know, he got the ball out for the easy stuff, but when it was time to try Genesis Smith or try Stooks a little bit down the field, it didn't work well for him. Also, too, I think something else he does is I think he's late on some of his throws. Sure. If he gets the ball out early, a lot of his receivers don't get hit over the middle like they do. A lot of times he got his wide receivers killed over the middle because he was just a little late and the ball was right on him type stuff. And I also watched him versus TCU, in which he was cool, but he wasn't great. Hit his layups, some throws, fine. I got Sawyer Robertson in the extras. Cool player, decent player. If you want to, I know he can run a system. You know what I mean? Like if you one of these coaches and you want to use like a college type system or something like that, keep him in the shotgun and just throw the ball multiple times. Yeah, he can play that in a system. But I don't think he's a guy that's gonna elevate the guys around him or anything like that. I think he can run what you give him to run. But I got him in the extras, Brian.
I have him actually in the 5th round, and I kind of fell in love with the 6'4" and the 216.
You old scout?
I am an old scout. I absolutely see what you're talking about with some of the throws that he makes. I think there's some times where the touch is subpar. I think the timing is subpar. Accuracy can be kind of a hit and miss thing. The thing that I really liked about this guy is when he got pressured, he didn't seem like he got rattled.
Yeah.
He seemed like he hung in there, and I kind of felt like that his ability to hang in there, kind of trust his guys. I mean, he makes some incredible throws. You could watch some of the throws that he makes in these games with Trigg, the tight end. They've got another wide receiver that's outstanding. They've got some guys that he could throw the ball to that make plays. Yeah. But I did see him like when teams were playing cover 2, maybe because it was watching Trigg so much. That you could see the seam throws. You could see
seam was there. The seam was there.
I mean, okay. So the ball going down the field, it seemed like there was a little bit more of some accuracy with that. But I did like the toughness. I like the ability for him to stand in there. I love the size of the player. I love the fact that he is a 5th-year senior. I do think he's got some pro traits to him. I do think he's got the arm talent. There's times where the ball comes out of his hands quickly. I think it's got velocity to it, but the touch, the timing, that could be, as I mentioned, a little bit of a problem for him. He's an adequate scrambler. He's not one of these guys. We've studied some quarterbacks who are elite or good at scrambling and making plays with their legs. I think Sawyer Robertson is not in that level. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to know that this guy's probably, as you mentioned, Voch, is going to have to get into a system where he can run it, where it's a little bit of the, take the snap and throw it, work on his timing, get better at that. That was something I struggle with, but the touch, kind of get that better. But the arm talent, the size, the toughness, all those things I think are there for this player. Like I said, I put him in the 5th round. It'll be interesting to see if somebody he might go undrafted, but the fact he is a 5th-year senior and has had some experience of playing these games, I think somebody will look at that and take that with his measurables and give him an opportunity.
Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of Luke Altmyer at all.
It's so funny that you say that. I was watching, my 87-year-old dad and my girlfriend Michelle. They're into watching these quarterbacks with me. I got them up on the 85-inch screen.
You're a fancy man.
I plug them in, so we're watching them. Michelle goes, "Why is he holding the ball so long?"
Yeah.
And so I was like, "Yeah, that's it's a problem with them." But go ahead if you got him.
Let me run the facts, man. Luke Altmyer, Illinois, and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
35 starts, 36 games of 15 or more passes, 23 wins.
Yeah.
Boy, this last year he was getting whooped up on.
Yeah, he was.
But 60 touchdowns, 24 interceptions. That's decent. 6'2", 210 pounds. I watched Purdue, Ohio State, and Indiana.
Yeah.
I wanted to see what you look like versus the best competition.
Sure.
I had to go watch some other games, bro.
I'll tell you what, man. You watched that Indiana game.
I couldn't get a look, Brian. You look, Brian, you ever been at practice?
Yeah.
And the scout team getting whooped so bad, and coach say, give us a look.
Yeah.
Dog, you can't get a look with Indiana and Ohio State. Y'all got to go watch somebody else, man.
Yeah, no.
Let Nas down. He does hold the ball.
He does.
Shouts out to Michelle, man. She got an eye for this one.
Michelle was asking me, she goes, why does he keep holding the ball so long? You can't stand there and do that.
And that gets him sacked so much.
It gets him sacked, yeah, absolutely.
He tries to be improv guy. Yeah. He can run around a little bit, but he's not one of these other guys that we've talked about running around, man. But it's like I think it's like progressions. Yeah. And he's a dude that he needs to be on time. And if he's not on time, he might as well just fall down, take a knee, play is over. Please, Brian, you go ahead and take
I got you. Yeah. I mean, listen.
Indiana film really turned me
off.
No,
you watch Indiana and they're just all over them. And Indiana did that to you. But you mentioned Ohio State. There's other teams that are good, when you watch him play. Yeah. He has experience as a starter. That's a positive for this guy.
5 years.
I think there's some things that there's some adequate. And I say adequate with the arm talent and the throws he makes. But, man, he processes so slowly. Yeah. And we mentioned that. And so you watch him drop back, and there's routes that are opening up, and he just cannot anticipate making the throw. And he's way too patient with that. But I kind of feel like, though, he's trying to find somebody down the field. He's trying to keep his eyes down the field. But his offensive line, if he's standing there patting the ball, they're not going to hold up. I think if you sped him up, then you would maybe see a little bit better player. Yeah. But right now, just having the discipline to speed up and the mechanics, it leads to a quarterback that's so inconsistent. The poise, it's just like he stands there and then he's trying, like it's too late, then he tries to escape. The awareness in the pocket and all, it's tough. It's really, really tough. I have him as one of my others. He's 6'2", 210. Maybe somebody could get him to play a lot faster, but if he's going to play at the pace in the pocket that he does currently, he's going to do nobody any good. He's going to have a hard time beating out some guys for a spot, some other quarterbacks, some pro-ready type quarterbacks. But, man, I just feel like to me that unless you fix that, he's doing nobody any good.
Yeah, I wasn't too positive on him. Wasn't too high. Even when you watched other teams of lesser competition.
Yeah.
Right? I still just didn't see a big arm from him. I didn't see a bunch of improv ability.
No.
When he was on time, he's fine, but he got off time so easily. And no matter what game he played, he always seemed to hold the ball a little bit. But his verse competition was like really great.
Yeah.
And I understand Ohio State has a hell of a defense. Indiana has a hell of a defense. But man, you don't tell me that's a Carson Beck or something who's trying to make it work. Ty Simpson's trying to make it work. And, Nussmeier even played some of these guys. So I don't think Nussmeier played. But yeah, I'm just trying to give you benefit of the doubt.
I think to me that
and versus good defense,
I don't think you could play NFL quarterback and be slow processing or slow holding the football. I just don't. If we get on running backs and say, oh, well, he's prone to turnover, he's prone to fumbles and all that. That's a problem. It's like, oh, well, he's Jadon Blue. Well, he fumbled 5 times last year, fumbled 6 times last year.
That's how you make your living. That's your living.
That's a problem. You've got to hold on to the ball and you got to make plays. Yeah. Luke Altmyer, he has to process faster. You can't sit there and hold the ball in the NFL. They will eat you alive. And unless he does that, he's not going to be a quarterback in this league.
So, Brian, in recap, this is our quarterback week.
Yeah.
First of all, how did you enjoy quarterback week, Brian?
I'll tell you what. I'm going to say this. I was pleasantly surprised. Shouldn't say surprised. Going back and watching Mendoza play, I can understand.
I get it. Yeah.
I get it. I get the way he makes throws. He's clearly the best quarterback in this draft. Nussmeier, I saw every single week at LSU. I was my eyes opened up with Aller from Penn State.
Yeah.
I don't think Simpson is as good as everybody's projecting him to be from Alabama.
That's where I'm at.
I would have a hard time if somebody's talking about him as a first-round player and he turns out to be, I'll be more than happy to admit I missed the guy.
Yeah.
But I think he's more of a third-round guy, and like I say, Nussmeier, Aller, I like those guys clearly better. I think I surprised you a little bit with Green from Arkansas. Maybe I'm evaluating the athlete in him a little more, the mobility that he has, the way to get around. I feel like, though, that maybe somebody will tighten up that throwing motion, and you might have a guy. I remember, and you're going to kill me, people are going to kill me for saying this. I remember Lamar Jackson throwing the ball at Louisville. There were times where the ball was going high, going away, it wasn't accurate.
Yeah.
There's times he's still not accurate throwing the football. But that mobility gives him an advantage over everybody else. Carson Beck, maybe the guy that has the absolute most experience of playing in huge games and actually winning huge games. Maybe I should give him more credit for that. But like his demeanor and the way he carries himself doesn't give me a lot of confidence. Yeah. It just doesn't make me feel good about my quarterback. Yeah, but he finds ways to win games. Maybe I should give him credit for that. King, we've talked about him. Robinson, we've talked about. Klubnik, Daniels, Altmyer, Payton. I've kind of got those guys. I'm sure there's some people, Voch has liked a couple a little bit more than me. I've liked some more than him. But if I had to kind of draw the line where it's at, I'm probably borderline drawing it with King, maybe Robinson a little bit below that. But that's kind of where I would be with my quarterback room as we're talking about it right now.
Mendoza's my clear number one, first round grade. I didn't have any second round grades.
I didn't either.
Quarterback tax will mix that up.
Yep.
My second guy, Garrett Nussmeier.
Yep.
Third guy, Drew Aller. I was pleasantly surprised.
I was too. I was too.
A lot of these guys, I'm giving context of their 24 film is what I would lead with.
I think you're doing it the right way. I love the fact with this study this week you brought in the Parcells element, but you also brought in listen, if you don't feel great about 25, figure out why Garrett Nussmeier played a lot better in 24.
Yeah. Investigating further never hurt.
If you're going to do that for McCoy, I mean, McCoy,
do it for everybody.
You should do it for everybody. Yeah.
Everybody. Beck, in which I would also lead with his film in 2024. I got him in the fourth round. He's my fourth best guy.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Simpson. You hit it on the head, Brian. I don't know why he's the one guy that people are putting after Mendoza.
Everybody's talking about him being a first-round guy. Boy, I tell you what, if he works out being a first-round guy and plays at a high level, then tip of the cap to him.
Do what you like. Cole Payton here is my sixth guy, fourth round grade on him. I eventually put Taylor Green in the fifth round.
Okay.
Just to be fair with him. The athletic traits should push him up.
Sure.
They should. And my extras, and I actually put these guys in order. I normally don't put my extras in order. Haynes King, Klubnik, Robinson, Daniels, Altmyer. That's how I got these guys. So, Brian, if weird quarterback stuff happens like it does every year, Purdy ends up being the best guy in the class or something like that. Let's just say Mendoza's not the best guy in this class. Well, he is, but who surprisingly would you say has the best shot to make it in the league and be like the best guy in this class? That'll like shock everybody on a Dak Prescott in the fourth round type stuff. Purdy goes late type stuff. Like, what guy do you think, not named Mendoza, has the ability to be the best?
The way I have it stacked, it would be Nussmeier, but I'm going to say that maybe Aller.
I think Aller got a shot.
I do too.
I
do too. I think that I have it stacked where Nussmeier, Aller, Simpson would be. But if you put my feet to the fire, I think that if you said, give me the guy that might have that. And listen, Penn State, not a great history, I believe. I can't think of any Penn State quarterbacks that we're really fired up about right now. Yeah. But I will say this: he's the one guy, the measurables. The way his film appears to my eye, and the way he looks, the way he throws the ball, I think he's got the best shot.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Nussmeier plays very well. The one I worry really the most about, to be honest, of the three is Simpson. That would be the one. Simpson would. I would be a little nervous putting all my eggs in one basket on Simpson. I would rather try and put my eggs in the basket for Nussmeier or Haller before I would put it for Simpson.
Bryan, quarterback week is something that can be uncomfortable for many.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't my expertise, but we watch our film. We tell y'all what we see. We're honest about it. We ain't BSing nobody. And I kind of created my rubric for what I think of these guys and how I grade them.
Yeah.
So we would love to hear what y'all's grades are, please.
I think to me, this is where in our line of work now, the media evaluators, I think this is where people, they either they go with you or they go against you on this, but they remember how you evaluate quarterbacks. What quarterbacks were you talking about? And you and I have chosen this platform to be able to evaluate them. For 1 hour, we will sit here and evaluate quarterbacks. So we're putting it out there. We're putting our name on these quarterbacks. Yeah. And I think that's where I think people do appreciate that, but it's also out there, for people to later in coming years to be able to say, oh, Voch, you really, really liked this quarterback. You really liked that quarterback, and give you credit, but they'll also remind you when you're wrong about guys.
Sure.
They will do that more on quarterbacks than they will any other position. So I think you have to evaluate these quarterbacks. I think you have to be able to put them on your board. I think you have to be able to talk about them and stack them where you would have them. Yeah. And I think in this week we have. I think we haven't. I think we've given our listeners, viewers, an idea of what we think of these quarterbacks, because I don't think Dallas is going to take a quarterback, but there's people watching this right now that their teams are going to take quarterbacks. So I think you have a little bit of an understanding of what we think about them.
Next week we're gonna get back to real football though, Bryan.
Yeah.
Everybody write this down. I haven't sent this to the Crown group chat to prep yet or whatever, but I'll be sending it out this weekend or whatever. But these are just names that we've seen out in the wild or whatever. Here we go, y'all. Y'all write this down. It's gonna be your batch for Monday when we get here. Landon Robinson, defensive line from Navy.
Here you go.
Xavier Harris, D-line, Ole Miss. D-lineman from Ole Miss. Demetrius Crownover.
Tackle, Texas A&M.
Texas A&M offensive tackle. We're going to be watching him. Reggie Virgil, or Cowboys are interested in him. Wide receiver, Texas Tech.
Yep.
And Takario Davis, cornerback from Washington. I've heard some things about him, and we need to be watching.
We're getting down to the point where I think that you still have some guys that are possibly third and fourth round guys.
Sure.
That the early media scouts miss, but you're getting down to putting your board to putting your getting all your players you're done. Yeah. Looking forward to doing that stack.
They can't see this, but these are just names. So I've scoured the internet.
Yeah.
I'm kind of seeing what people are saying. I'm looking at mocks and what they're saying. Yeah. I'm looking at PFF grades, not where they got them ranked at.
Yeah, just names. Yeah.
Because, for example, LT Overton, they have him ranked high.
Yeah.
But his grade is low.
Right.
Why is that? I don't know. PFF going through changes over there anyway. But I'm looking at grades. I'm looking at what the people are saying. I'm looking at people's mock drafts and seeing some common occurrences there. So I made some adjustments to the list and moved forward.
Yeah, we're down to it.
We only got a couple more weeks, like 2 more weeks of this anyway. So we're going to try our best to get the best guys out there, and we'll let y'all know we do that. If you're looking for anything, man, that we're doing, merch, NFL's a Strange Lady.
Yeah, NFL's Strange Lady. Yeah,
limited edition.
We're in the limited edition phase of that. The response to this has actually been pretty good. We appreciate everybody out there ordering that stuff, and hopefully you enjoy it like we enjoyed putting it out there for you.
After 22 days, it's going to be gone. So go ahead and tap in with us now. If you're looking for the clips page or anything else, it's all on crownglobalmedia.com. Appreciate y'all for checking out the website. Put a lot of work into it. That's Crown Global Media on Twitter, because it's not Bryan Broaddus right now. And you know what I hate about what they did to your Twitter page? Like, they retweeted 2 things and just left it alone. Like, they ain't even using it for real.
They're not even using it. It's kind of like somebody had it out for me, and they just said, "No, we're just going to shut down an account that has 128,000 followers to it." That's what kills me, because I feel like I lose that opportunity. It's not. I didn't mean to say that as a brag. I meant to say that I feel connected to everybody who follows me. I really do. That you take the time to do that, and that I can't interact with you that way. And now people are figuring out, oh, Broaddus is over at Crown Global Media. So that sucks. I'm still trying to work on it. Maybe one day miraculously that thing will show up. I'd love for it to show up before the draft happens.
You damn right it's gonna take a miracle, but we gonna.
Oh no, it's gonna take a damn miracle.
We're gonna
Elon
see.
Musk is firing rockets in the air right now. He doesn't have time for my Twitter page.
That's real. That's fair. We should get him to sell it to our friend, and then we'll.
Yeah, we're trying.
We got the money.
We're trying.
And I'm Voch Lombardi on Twitter.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, there's no weird stuff going on with me. All right, and we'll catch y'all Monday with those 5 guys. We love y'all to pieces. Crime.